Welcome to Trail Times Pod with Big Bear Events. We are going to get straight into the live recordings from the Badger Challenge at Beacon Hill Country Park on the 27th of February. I'll join you on the other side and I'll chat a bit more about it. This is the Badger Challenge at Beacon Hill Country Park. Managed to get the finish arch up for the first time this year. First one was too windy, second one doesn't quite work on the course, so this is nice to have the finish arch up, which I quite enjoy. Yeah, beautiful. You can see me by the squinting that it is incredibly sunny today. Yesterday when I came to mark the course, absolutely filthy. Just horrible rain just the whole time. So I booked that well a year ago to make sure I got the sunshine, which I'm pretty happy about. Yeah, we've got I think 103 people running, I think, something like that, maybe 105. Which is excellent, really good numbers. We've got quite a few canicrosses out as well, lots of new people, and I'm going to try and catch some little clips with people as they're running along, so it's a bit more, if you're watching, a bit more like this rather than me sticking a camera in someone's face saying talk monkey. So hopefully people are a bit more comfortable doing that and I can get some more conversations out of them. But I'm going to go back to the aid station and eat some chocolate cake. How are we getting on, Sarah?
Not too bad.
What's the plan for the day?
Well, it's such a nice day, it would be rude not to stay all day.
Excellent.
So we're just walking up the hill and then he's pulling me down.
Just he is there. There we go. Right, nice. I'll let you go.
Thank you.
This is the view that we get when we're doing the timing. Sitting here, looking at a laptop, people come across, main comes up. Aid station that side. Happy days. There's our horse. Always get horses here. How are we getting on today?
Lovely fair, mate. Brilliant course. It's a bit hilly.
Yeah, it's quite. You done here before?
No, did Cannock Chase before, and that's quite hilly as well.
Yes, I mean this is more one hill in one go. So I always think of it as just straight up, across, straight down.
Nice little windy bit through the forest. It's beautiful.
Yeah, or the downhill is really runnable as well, though, right? Like
Yeah.
the perfect gradient to actually run, rather than
Yeah.
frustrating because you can't run it properly.
The uphill bit gives us a chance to think about life. We've made the right choices.
Oh, luckily there's no cliff edges at the top, eh? But there's Red Bull. There's Red Bull at the top.
Red Bull at the top.
Sugar-free Red Bull, which I didn't realise, which is useful. But anyway, right. I'll leave you to it, guys.
Thanks,
Have
Paul.
fun. Absolute legends. Come to lots of my events. Hundreds of marathons between them. I think Nick is in the top 500 in the world or something similar. Canicross. Oh, dog's gone there. Dog's there. Waiting at the aid station. Owner at the other aid station. Perfect. We've changed this now.
Hello.
So the idea is to walk along and chat rather than stick a camera in people's faces.
Sure.
Because obviously this is much more friendly than just saying talk.
Indeed.
Have you been here before?
No, first
So
time.
it's the first time you've done this one?
Yes.
How you find it?
Nice. I don't care because the sun's out.
Yes.
I don't care what pace. I go as slow as I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good downhill.
But it's good though, isn't it? Like the downhill here.
Yeah. Because the uphill is fun. I chat to the girls from Red Bull who are here visiting.
Yes. Yeah.
And then run downhill for 2 miles.
Well, you'd have your wings, wouldn't you, when you come down there now?
I've never had one. I'm too scared.
What, the Red Bull?
Yeah, ever.
You've never had a Red
No,
Bull?
I'm 33. I know.
Oh, right.
Shout upbringing.
I don't have many Red Bulls on their own. There's normally I had vodka in them when I was 20, but
Oh, no. And
Well-
a partner once who invented a dirty Red Bull, which is 4 shots of Jack Daniels and 2 shots of Jaeger.
I mean, you can ask them if they've got it. I don't know if
No.
they'll have it.
No, because 2 and you're on your back. I know.
Welcome back. So if you're watching, obviously you can tell we're not at the Beacon Hill Country Park. If you're listening, I'm sure it sounds quite different as well. As with all of this stuff, it's all a bit of a work in progress, trying to do different things. So yesterday, recorded all of that on a GoPro, which is why some of it sounds It sounds fine if I'm looking at the camera, and then some of you can tell I'm sort of behind the camera just because of the way the mics work. But it's a work in progress. I think it's all listenable, and we'll keep going. So the people that I spoke to as they were leaving the aid station had Sarah and Hector. Hector is Sarah's dog, who when he first started coming to the events, I think he was quite young, and so hadn't had what's the procedure called? His balls cut off. I can't think what the procedure's called. I don't think they called it that in the doctor's room. But he hadn't had his balls cut off, and he was quite lively. Now he's much calmer. I think he's still quite crazy, Sarah says, but he's much calmer, but he just runs forever. So Beacon Hill is quite a tricky course in that effectively, as I described in one of those clips, it's sort of a mile of uphill, and it's not particularly steep, really, if you were just to run that bit on its own. So obviously I only go and do these things and do one lap, which makes it a lot easier when you're marking the course. But it's not massively steep, really. Again, I don't know what the particular gradient is, but it's a mile long. So it's quite a grind to do that for a mile. And then you sort of mess around a little bit at the top, and then effectively you go down the other side of the park, and it's a mile of downhill. And the gradient, I think, again, when you do it once, is perfect for running in that it's not too steep, so you're not smashing your quads. If you listen to the last podcast when I did Transgran Canaria, that, in my opinion, was too steep, or not too steep, but was very steep, and so you're smashing your quads from sort of the first step. Whereas at Beacon Hill, it's a good gradient, so you can run and you feel like you're gliding down. I think after maybe the third, fourth, fifth, sixth lap, any sort of gradient is going to ruin your quads, and so later on people were suffering quite a bit on the downhill as well. But it's just the fact that the overall elevation is high. I think it's around 400 feet per lap, but it's more the fact that it's all in one block, and then the downhill is all in one block. Makes it quite tricky. Anyway, so Sarah runs with Hector, and Hector can just go forever. So I think he's done an ultra at our events before. I'm pretty sure that's right. It may well have been there previously, or at Saucy, I can't remember, but he will easily do a marathon. And the hilarity with the Canicross is that it's the owners are the ones that are tired. Every time Canicross is finished, and they're like, oh yeah, I was tired. The dog just wants to carry on. Lily's dog, who I was standing in front of and crouching down in front of, when Lily was finished, you know, she'd done, I want to say, over a marathon, I think, or a marathon, and so obviously was tired, and the dog was just really pulling to keep going, which I did find quite funny, because the dogs just want to go, and it's great. And it was lovely having a handful of dogs there yesterday. I think maybe 5 or 6, something like that. It just adds to the events. So with the challenge events, with the midweek, midday events, we don't have a separate start for them, because there's only a handful of dogs, so they don't get in the way. All I ever say is you either start at the front or you start at the back, because either if you're in the middle, even if you're going to end up in the middle in 400 meters, you're going to trip people up with a lead, however short the lead is. This is what sort of winds me up at parkrun, and I'm not getting into leads or any of that jazz with parkrun, because I do think they've got that one wrong. But with my events, either start at the front because your dog's going to go off like mad. I'm sure you won't be able to maintain that pace because the dogs don't tend to either. But either start there or start at the back, because you know your dog sort of doesn't really do anything for 300 meters and then starts going. That's the best way to do it. There's no, in my opinion, there's no need to have a separate Canicross start when you've got 5 runners. It just doesn't make any sense. The nighttime ones, when we do the 10Ks, the dogs are crazy at those nighttime ones. So we do a separate start for them, but we also get more numbers. So I think for the next one we've got next week, we've got 15 Canicross entries, I think, something like that. So we'll have roughly that number starting. So then to put that in the middle of a 10K in the dark doesn't really make sense. So we start them 10 minutes earlier, and that's worked really quite well. I think the first time we did it, I think we started them 15 or 20 minutes earlier, which then created the problem that because it's effectively a 2-lap course at Salsey, they were coming round to start their second lap just as the people that had started were just starting their first lap, and so they sort of all had a head-on crash. So we've fixed it now that I think the crossover is very unlikely, and if there is, it's with either the super fast runners and the slower dogs or somewhere around. But it works really nicely. Yeah, so we had Sarah, and then we also had Nick and Dan. So I sort of mumbled something about Nick having done loads of marathons. I checked it out. So Nick is 484th in the all-time marathon worldwide number completed, with 475 marathons now. Dan's just a spring chicken and has only done 291 marathons. So obviously a lot of catching up to do, but two of the nicest people. They come to quite a few events. Yeah, I want to say maybe over 20 that we've done so far. I think I'd have to check that, but they've done loads. I've been to all the different ones I've done, but there's no arrogance. So we have a lot of people who are either in the 100 Marathon Club or who are trying to end up in the 100 Marathon Club, and I guess if you sort of thought of that from outside, you think that you'd come across some, I don't know, sort of arrogant or smug sort of people, and I'm yet to meet them. I'm sure any club with more than like 3 people in it, there's always somebody that's an idiot. That's just the rule of life, I think. But as a general rule, the people that come to our events, at least from the 100 Marathon Club, are brilliant. There's no snobbery about it. You know, it's not, oh, you only do a half marathon or anything like that. They just enjoy the running. They enjoy being out. They enjoy going somewhere and being looked after, and they like being around other people that are doing it, however far they're going. And that's the beauty of the 6-hour format, is if you only ever did half marathons, you might not even know the 100 Marathon Club exists, because the people that are in the club or trying to get into the club tend to only do the marathons. And so the 6-hour format means that you can get amongst these people and realise that they're actually human, and they don't all sort of look like Mo Farah or whatever. They're not all tiny, skinny people. They're just pretty normal people that their fitness levels obviously are very good, and they can sort of grind out some sort of tougher days and things like that. But they're not supernatural. They're just normal people that have a passion and get around the country doing all these things. So yeah, absolute legends. And then spoke to Dean as well. Dean started coming to our events quite a lot, sort of via the Ali and Anna's podcast from before. That I forgot the name of, the Ultrasound System podcast. We've got quite a few people that have come to our events via that, which I'm always very grateful for. And Dean's off doing, I should have looked at this bit before, a very famous trail in Spain, like a big walking trail. He's off in a few weeks to do that as well, so he's using our events as good training for that, as much as just coming along to be in the outside and be around nice people doing nice things. So great to chat to people. Obviously I'm going to try and do more and more of those. I'm incredibly anxious, like nervous to just go up to people, even doing the slightly different format of effectively holding a camera out and it videoing both of us, which is a better format than just sticking a camera in someone's face and saying talk. So it is a better format doing that. But I just sort of get sort of social anxiety of just going up to people and just starting those conversations. So I have tons of brilliant conversations on the finish line and at the aid station, and throughout the event, of people telling me these great stories. And what I don't want to do is like, whoa, can you stop telling me this amazing story? I'm just going to turn the camera on, and can you repeat it, please, with all the same passion that you've just told me? Because that sort of really kills the mood. And obviously the important thing for me is to have those conversations so that people well, first of all, because I want to hear them, just because I'm genuinely interested. But as a sort of person that's in the event, you want to have that conversation with people because you want to have it, not because you want someone to then plaster it all over social media or put it onto Facebook. And it's not as though these conversations are sort of super private conversations at all. I don't think anybody would mind them being shared. But it's the fact that you sort of get rid of that that personal touch, which is effectively what the whole business is, if you then start sticking cameras in people's faces. So I'm going to try and get better at it. What I really want to do is start getting recordings of people who are brand new to Big Bear events, because they're obviously the ones that are going to sort of be the, I guess, most surprised by what they've found, more than likely, and hopefully the ones that are enjoying it loads. Whereas a lot of people, if you've done something loads of times, even if you really enjoy it, you sort of, that's now your expectation. And so the way that you then talk about it is like, well, yeah, of course there's pizza at the aid station. Of course there's vegan options, whatever it is. Of course the parking was good, because that's what I do at my events. And so that's the expectation they have. Whereas if you've never done my events before, you've never done Big Bear events before, or events like it with a 6-hour format, I just think we'll get much better reaction. So the plan for next time is to try and do more of those sorts of conversations. How I'm going to do the evening 10K, I don't know. Hopefully I'll try and catch people at the end. The difficulty with that is that timing that is really labour intensive and quite stressful, because effectively we do manual timing for that, where I've got to be able to read bib numbers in the dark from 30 metres away while having light shined in my face. So that's always good fun, but I'll work something out for that. So we'll see what happens next time. What I did do though, because another thing that I'm not very good with is remembering the details of stories that I've been told. So I guess it's probably the same part of my awful memory and brain when it comes to remembering names, in that I forget somebody's name instantly and then just listen to their story and then can tell you about their life but can't remember their name. So I will have all these really great conversations and then it'll be like, yeah, there were loads of people that said this, but I can't remember the specifics. So what I did yesterday was I started just typing things down so I could then remember things, so I could then say them when I came to do this next day. So I only wrote a couple of bits down because I only remembered this halfway through the event, but I will start to do some more of this as well, so I've got some more little stories to share. What was good and what was quite cool to see, and the photos show it as well, is 3 that set off quick. So we had Amy, who's local to here, who I know through the Tri Club, and Zoe were setting off at a pretty lightning pace. They're both incredibly good runners. Amy's former GB 100k runner, I think that's right, GB anyway, of ultra running. Really good quality athletes that were just hammering it around, looking like they were in full control. And then they were also joined by Aaron as well. So it was just great to see 2 women sort of coming through first and then Aaron chasing afterwards. And then sort of by the end of the day, it all sort of got mixed around, you know, Amy stopped before and whatever. But it was just great to see people flying through, big smiles on their faces and enjoying it. I had a little chat with Zoe afterwards. So she was using that as a sort of like a fueling testing event, effectively, for North Downs Way 50 with Centurion, which I'll be down race directing that one, which is always nice. And then we chatted about the fact she's entered for North Downs Way 100 as well, which I've attempted pre-children. That's my 100-mile attempt that didn't go to plan. But it's nice to be able to chat to her about that. And I've said many times, but these 6-hour events are great for training for events like that, because you can come and you can try your nutrition strategy. You know, if you're going to rely on gels, we'll see how you get on for 6 hours on them. And if it all goes wrong, you're only ever 5k from the toilet, or from your car, and you can go home, or you can change what you're doing or whatever. And if you're going to try something a bit different, then it's a brilliant way to do it and not cause yourself huge grief. So there is a really good way to use these events as a sort of a training platform if you're doing longer stuff later on in the year. So that was great, and that was really nice to see. And then I chatted as well with Hardeep at the end as well, and she said to me, "Oh, it's the first time I've done over 10k." I was like, "Oh, brilliant, well done." And then I checked the computer. I was like, "Well, hang on, you've done a half marathon, so it's not you've gone a bit further. You've gone twice the distance that you were ever going to go." And she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't have signed up for a half marathon because I didn't want to have the pressure." And it's as though she's just been reading what I've been putting on Instagram and things like that, because that's the whole point. This is sort of the beauty of these events, is you can come in with the plan of running the half marathon, but if it doesn't go to plan and you've had a bad day, or it's like teeming down with rain and it's just not right, or whatever it is, you don't have to get picked up in the minibus and then sort of dumped off home and it being a big drama. It's just, oh, I'm just going to stop today. I'll still get my medal. I've not failed. I just haven't quite completed the goal that I wanted to do. So I've still got a good training run in, and I'll take the benefits from it, and I'll come back and I'll try and do it again. And then not only that, but the next time, oh, well, I've done the half marathon that I'd planned to do, but I actually feel all right. I'll see if I can do a little bit more. And then suddenly you've done 16 miles, and then suddenly you've done 18 miles, and you've done that without having to sign up 3 months beforehand and saying, right, I either do 18 miles or I fail. And so that's the beauty of the events. But it was really nice to actually hear somebody effectively repeat back the words that I keep saying to everybody else. So that was good. And like I say, loads of great stories from the event. We always do. And it's just really nice when the sun comes out and people are finishing and they're just all milling about at the end, sitting on the seats that are there. It just makes for a really, really nice day. And I know nice isn't really the most descriptive words, but that is what it is. Like, it's not London Marathon finish. You're not running over Tower Bridge, right? It's not that sort of thing, right? It's not the world's greatest sporting event. I'm not saying, I'd never claim that, I'm not stupid. But it's just a really good, solid day out where you're going to get looked after. Like, that's the guarantee. Everything's going to work. It's all going to be there, and you can come do whatever you want to do. And it's good fun. It's good fun. So that was the Badger Challenge. We're back at Beacon Hill in May. Friday the 2nd of May, we're doing our day-night event at Beacon Hill this year. So we'll start at 6 p.m. and then we'll go through till midnight. So it's a little bit earlier than we've done it in the past. So I think sunset is around 8 p.m, which means that most people will get a few laps in, maybe 2-3 laps in before the sun sets. And if we get a really nice day, I'm currently looking at bright blue skies. If we get a really nice day, then the view at the top as the sun goes down will be brilliant. It'll be like really like Kodak moment type stuff. And then you'll have hopefully time to then get back down. You'll need to take your head torch with you, but you'll sort of get back down, whack the head torch on, and then go around and do a few more laps as well in the dark. So it's really good. And if you've not done trail running at night and you think it sounds crazy and super unsafe and scary, it's not. So, and I appreciate I stand here saying this as a middle-aged white man, but I feel much safer running through the woods at night than I do running through town at night, because there's no pubs close by, there's no drunkards coming out harassing you. You might have some wildlife that you see, but that's more scared of you than you are of it. I think I've said that right. It's scared of you. I just feel a lot safer. You've got your head torch on, you can see where you're going. If you can't see where you're going, your head torch isn't good enough. Get a better head torch. I'd recommend Petzl, they do great ones. But you just need to have a really good head torch on, and you just keep going. And because it's going to be as part of an event, you know there's going to be people around, you know you've got arrows to follow easily that'll be have reflective strips on them so you'll be able to see them. And it's a really good way of trying it. And the fact that you'll have done a few laps before, you'll be sort of accustomed with where you're going, and you'll sort of have a little bit of an idea where you're going. You'll sort of get the feel for the course before it's then dark. So if you've not done nighttime ultra running and you want to give it a go, sorry, nighttime trail running, and you want to give it a go, great chance to do it. Yeah, I really do think that it's a brilliant way to go out and do it. It's good fun. We've done it at Salty Forest the last few years as well, and I think everybody else would agree that it's been really good events. And if you're looking to try and do longer ultra running that's going to go into the night, and that is the thing that puts you off doing it, this is a great way to try that, because you don't want to find after mile 46 on a 50 miler that you're petrified of it and you've not done it before. So this is a good way of practicing that. You sort of get your eye in over the first couple of hours, and then it gets dark. And then if you just do one lap in the dark, that's fine. You don't even have to do any laps in the dark at all. If you just want to come and run 10k in the sunlight and go home and watch EastEnders or whatever, then that's fine. You don't have to stay for the dark. And it's a really good way as well for those of you that tell me that you can't do things during the week because of work. It's after work, so you can come in and you can do things then. And if you can't get to near Loughborough for 6 p.m. or for a 6 p.m. start, you can always start late, that's fine. Your time starts with everybody else, because we do gun time, not chip time. But you're welcome to start 6:30, 7, whatever, like that's absolutely fine. I appreciate the M1 on a Friday night might cause some issues with people getting there on time. So if you are late, then that's not a problem at all. In terms of what we've got coming up, we have got the Elephant Challenge, which is on Friday the 7th of March. That's selling really well. We've got, I think, 9 places left in that, so hopefully that'll sell out in the next few days. And that same evening at Salty Forest as well, we've got the Petzl Night Trails 10k. So that's our last in the series. That's selling, that might be one of the bigger nighttime dark events we've had. So I think we're up to about 125 entries for that. So there's only 25 entries, and 10Ks people tend to enter quite late. So that might sell out as well, which will be superb. Petzl will join us there with some of their headlamps that you can borrow and try out, and you can see they are really good. You do get what you pay for. I'm not going to lie and say they're cheap, because they're not, and so they're expensive, and they're made expensive. If you go and buy something for 15 quid from Decathlon, you'll get 15 quid from Decathlon's worth of light given out, which is fine when you're running around town and you just want someone to see you so they don't run you over. But when you're in the middle of the woods and there's no lights, there's no even ambient light anywhere, you need to be able to see. So it really helps to have a really good head torch. So we're doing that, and then a little gap while I go down and sort of help race direct the 100 Hills 50k with Centurion, and then we're into Trailfest on the 6th of April, Sunday the 6th of April. If you can volunteer there, please let me know, that'd be great. I've got a few spots I need to fill for that. The 10k and the half marathon will sell out, I'm pretty sure. The marathon and the 50k probably not, but you know, get your entries in anyway. The 50k is filling up a lot quicker than the marathon. Yeah, so that's everything that's going on, and next time we have an event, I'll be recording.